Well, what's going on, team? It is so great to see you guys here. Hey, everyone is traveling for the summer. And as much as I would love to grab a cup of coffee with every single one of you individually and give you an update on what's happening at Element for this summer heading into the fall, I figured I would grab my Michigan State cup and we would do a virtual cup of coffee like this. So thankful for the miracle of technology. It's awesome. So, hey, you can be on vacation, traveling at the lake, whatever everybody is doing, and we can all still be on the same page as we look forward into this summer and really into this fall at all that God is doing. Guys, I'm so excited about what God is up to this year, and I am just so excited to share this stuff with you. So, what we've done is we've put together a little web page that you can actually browse and scroll on your own time. It's got some additional information, more than what I'll be able to cover here in our time together, because I want to keep this video brief and succinct to the best of my ability. But I want you to know that I'm available to you, and Pastor Erica and Kinsley, we're all available to you for any questions that you have, and we would love to have those dialogues. And if a cup of coffee is helpful this summer, we are 100% down. So please let us know. But we just felt like this was the most efficient way to get some of this information to you. And we wanted to get it to you before it kind of starts trickling out to some of the church at large, and make sure that you guys had an opportunity to ask questions and just really get settled in your spirits as we move forward. So what we've done, we've built a web page for you with some of this information. You can browse it at length. There's more information on the web page here than what I will actually try to cover in this video, because I want to do my best to keep it succinct. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to launch us into some clarifying information as we look forward for the rest of this year. Let's see. Let me get my buttons right here. Share, and there's that, and boom. Okay, so you guys, here's the web page I was talking about. Now you're going to have the option here to just stay watching this video, which is at the top of the web page, or you can just scroll the web page as I'm talking, and you can hear the audio and actually look at this in like even larger on your screen if you'd like to. But as you'll see here, Vision 2025, this is really just a summer and fall update for us. This video here will be replaced with this video when we get it uploaded and finished here. Vision, we've been talking about the vision of Element moving into this season very simply as this transform lives with Jesus as the central element. And really, you guys have already heard us talk about this, but this idea that, you guys, we don't want to invite people to a church service. We want to invite people to a transformed life. And as a pastor and as a leader, I'm willing to give my life to that. Willing to give my life to say, man, I want to see lives transformed. I want to see the campus transformed. I want to see our community transformed. I want to see families transformed. I want to see our region transformed with Jesus, and with Jesus as the central element. So we've got this little diagram here, and I really want to use this as a conceptualization for us. And even as we share with other people moving forward, that a lot of people conceptualize their spiritual life as a section of their life, a section of the pie chart. They've got friends and family, work and school, sleep and rest, and then they've got Jesus, they've got church, they've got whatever as kind of this slice of the pie. But what we want to do is we want to move that conceptualization over to say, no, Jesus is the central element of everything. He sits at the core of our life, and he influences, impacts, directs, and asks our surrender into every area of our life. So he isn't a piece of our life that sits next to friends and family. He sits at the core of the way that we engage our friends and our family. He sits at the core of the way that we engage work and school. And so the terminology for this is really that Jesus is the central element. Jesus is the center of everything in our lives. And really, again, as a pastor and a leader, I want to call people to conceptualize their life in that way. But now I know you guys can already see it's not entirely different, but it is fundamentally different than inviting someone to be part of a church service or part of a church in the way that people conceptualize church. This is inviting people to engage a transformed life, to live a life with Jesus at the center of everything. And so that's what we say, transform lives with Jesus as the central element. And I really love this because it's transforming lives with Jesus, which really is a missional thing. Like, we're not doing mission on our own, we're doing it with Jesus. So our vision is to transform lives with Jesus. And then I like Jesus as the central element. So you can kind of break that thing up. It's putting Jesus right at the center of everything. So I hope that's a clarifying little pie graph there, a little pie chart for you guys. And then, really for church, right? We go, well, vision as a church is really similar. It's evangelism, discipleship, and mission mobilization. However you want to frame that up. It's evangelism, it's discipleship, and it's mission. It's um it's salvation, sanctification, and service. So however you want to frame it up, but we all have as a church the same vision ultimately, but we share it a different way. But a lot of different churches have different strategies. And so one of the things that we want to start talking about here around at Element is the strategy we've titled the GPCTM. Now I know that may not stick with you originally, but it will help you remember it. And really, it's this, you guys. It's very simple. It's getting the gospel to people. We don't want to start by inviting people to church, although that's an important part. We want to start with getting the gospel to people wherever they are. So, what does that mean? That means that we want to actually imprint upon every person Element. Hey, our role is not to invite people to church only. Our role is actually to be the church and get the gospel to people wherever they are. So, at your workplace, at your school, in your family, you are a minister of the gospel, and we want you to be getting the gospel to people wherever you are. So, I'll talk about in just a moment. There's going to be some support and some training in regards to that, but we want to start conceptualizing a transformed life in these ways. Getting the gospel to people. We want to get the gospel to people. And then as you get the gospel to people, we want to get those people into community. And you can see it here kind of on this circle chart here, the gospel to people, and then the people into community. So if we're just getting the gospel to people and people are getting saved, that's amazing. That's not enough. We want to get, for a truly transformed life, we want to get those people into community. We want them to find a sense of belonging. We want to invite them to church, to the church community, to the Element community, where they can be loved, where they can be in a multi-generational church that's there together. So that's gospel to people, people to community. And then once we have people in community, we don't just want to get together and watch movies or eat food, although those are fun things to do. We want that community to be moving to transformation. We want to be learning and growing, taking responsibility for our own life. We want to be challenging ourselves with courses, healthy relationships, freedom. We want to be doing deep transformation work with people. So we want that community moving to transformation. And then we want that transformed community to move to mission and really to say, hey, what missional assignment are you picking up and how can you serve people around you? How can we build the corporate community of Element together? How can we give and serve and pray and how can we see lives transformed with Jesus as the central element together? So, and that loops right back up to mission, and then that mission loops right back up to getting the gospel to people. And so you can see how that circle goes. But we want to remember this: Jesus is the central element even of our strategy, because Jesus is the central element of everything. And the Bible says, unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. And I'll say this: we can have a great vision and a great strategy, but unless the Spirit of God is sitting in the center, unless God is breathing on all of this, you guys, it doesn't matter. So as we move into the fall, man, we want to be praying. We want to be praying and asking God to be moving in the lives of people. We want the lost to be coming in. We want the gospel to be going out to people and people to be getting rooted into community, and that community be moving to transformation, that transformation to each person on mission, all the way back to the gospel to people. So I think that makes sense. I'm stoked about that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we've built out a little frameology here called the Element Process, and you can really see how transforming lives with Jesus as the central element moves into these four areas. And then how each of those four areas really starts to break down tactically and operationally into things that we do as a church. And why this is important is that we can begin to staff around these core components and this strategy, and we can begin to actually measure what we're doing. So I'm not going to, in this video, I'm not going to take the time to break all this down, but you guys can go look at this on the website here. And you can see how some of the things we're already doing start to fit into this strategy, this gospel to people, people to community, community to transformation, transformation to mission, and then right back up to gospel to people. And you can see how that kind of flows down. And I hope you can start to see how there's some traction and some movement to some of these things, and to place some of the stuff we're already doing into these areas. So we did some frequently asked questions for you here. I'm going to touch quickly on some of these. Again, there's more information here than I can cover on this video, but is Element a church or a college ministry? And we've been trying to figure out the way that we answer that for a really long time. And we've gotten really settled in this next season to just triple down on this, you guys. Element is a hybrid thing. It's not a suburban Bible church, and it's also not a campus ministry. It is a multi-generational, collegiate-focused church. It has 1 foot in the campus and 1 foot in the community. And really, for us, I broke down here trying to explain that out a little bit, to say we don't need to prioritize campus or community. What we need to do is define how campus and community work together. So there are ways that are not even listed in here that we've been starting to conceptualize that with more clarity, and you'll hear us continue to talk about that. But there are some ways that we've brought clarity to that, how we kind of walk with both of those feet, kind of finding a stride or a gait, if you will. And we've laid that down. A big one that you guys will see is that we're launching the Adopt a Student program this fall, and we're so excited about that. And it's going to be a family or a group of mature singles, 2 student leaders, and then students that are involved. And that cohort is going to come together as a group. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to put a multi-generational discipleship model in place, while also still capturing the ability for the student leaders and the students to orbit outside on their own. Let me try to break that down in one other more simple way. We want families and students together. One of the problems is they orbit at different rhythms and routines. A family obviously functions different than a student does. So what we want to do is put together a model that can put those orbits together in an intentional way. That's a once a month gathering with that entire group together, a multi-generational, intergenerational group. And then we want the student leaders and the students to be able to be orbiting throughout the other weeks together, where they can be doing deeper discipleship on a student orbit as well. And then they're all communicating all the time through a group chat. So we're really excited about that. More to come as we move forward, but we're really excited about this. And I think it gives us a way to begin to walk together with our generations and how we can actually put them together in an intentional model called Adopt a Student. So those will be groups, and that really is building out this idea of authentic multi-generational relationships. We're really stoked about that. There's some information in here about how Element Church is funded. Some of you guys probably care about that. A lot of you guys probably don't. I would be stoked to talk to you more about that. And I'm actually turning my attention much more to that in this coming season. Really excited about that. But the quick cursory overview of that is this, is that traditionally Suburban Bible Church gathers people and then builds and stabilizes and funds from within. Campus ministries typically go and fundraise externally by gathering resources and bringing them in, because they know that the students they're doing ministry to are not the people that can pay for that ministry to be done. And so what we're doing as Element is we're putting a hybrid model together where we're going to continue to teach tithing and generosity to our church people and do some funding from within. We're also going to be more intentional in this next season to reach outside of Element Church, especially to our alumni. We have a database of about 3,500 people where we're going to be inviting those alumni into monthly partnerships. So we'll be doing some funding externally. You'll also see some things come in. We're going to do an annual Vision Sunday, and there's some projects we'll fund around. So that'll be cool. And then thirdly, we're going to actually expand our approach to self-supported or fundraised staff. So as you guys know, Kinsley has raised staff to come on, or raised support to come on staff. We have some other people praying about that right now, and we're hoping to build out a more robust offering where we can bring even more staff in who want to raise their own support through a partnership with our ministry partner, Reliance. So really excited about that. There's more there that I'm really excited about, a digital storytelling team and some other things that for this video I won't get into. A couple other things that I wanted to touch on here. What are the priorities this fall? I felt like this was important for you guys. Just 4 main things that we're going to do a lot this fall, this summer and fall, but 4 main things I wanted you to focus on. Number one, we're going to clarify our vision and our strategy at Element Church. That's really, I'm starting that here with you guys. We've been meeting with some of our core leaders and team on this for months now, but rolling this out to you guys, and then we'll be rolling this out to the church even in the next few weeks, and over the next several months, you'll hear more of this language begin to drip out. But that's one of the emphasis points. Secondly, we want to focus as part of a gospel to people conceptualization. That's that first part of the strategy. We want to invite people to individual ownership of mission. So we want to say to people, man, we want you to start conceptualizing your life, a transformed life, as getting the gospel to people. So how can you do that in your orbit? So we're going to be talking a lot about that into the fall. So you'll get that challenge for people to be the church and to pick up individual mission and bring that into their space Monday through Sunday. So I'm really excited about that. And then people to community, starting to to really focus on that, which is that second part of the strategy. And there's two pieces to that. Number one, we really want to triple down on relationships this fall. We want to, they say this, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so we want to just continue to say, how can we be building deep, authentic relationships together through groups, through teams, through Adopt a Student this fall? So you're going to see an emphasis on that. It's just multi-generational, authentic relationships. And then fourthly, is people to community. We're going to take our next steps process, which really is a process to integrate people into the Element community. We're actually going to move that entire process online, which we're really excited about. So you'll see that this fall. So those are four big priorities as we move into this fall. There's some online items that we're going to be putting up online, which, by the way, we're going to be refreshing our website probably in August before we head into the big push of the fall. I say big push, just the students and families really coming back and locking back into rhythm and routine. So there's some stuff on that you guys can check out. And then I've got a summer and fall calendar with some dates on there for you guys. And then lastly thing I wanted to touch on here is what are some of the big changes that are on the horizon. Some of you guys maybe have seen a lease sign on the Element downtown studio space. There's a lot of detail and context to this, and I'll be glad to take you in again, cup of coffee, phone call, whatever, as much as you guys are interested in. But the long and short of it for this video is that we are going to be moving out of our downtown studio space at the end of this month. So the really fast headline version of that is that the building actually was sold about a year and a half ago, to a gentleman in California who is not a property owner. He owns one building. He's never seen the building in East Lansing. And our rent has doubled. They're talking about tripling it. And where we used to have a local property management company that helped manage a lot of the space and a lot of the issues that are down there. It's a kind of a complex space being downtown. We lost all of those services. So our expenses have doubled, closer to tripled, and we've lost a lot of the services that we had down there. And then we've been asked to take on a lot of additional things that it just makes it a much less attractive space. So we'll keep you guys in the loop of the next steps on that. We're very close to securing a next location, and we'll be talking about that. But I did want to let you guys know we are going to be moving that space. One of our priorities is to make sure that the next space is accessible through public transit or walking to campus so that we can continue that. But we'll keep you guys updated on that. We are, as I mentioned, doing a website refresh. Our website company is working on that right now as we speak. We're really excited about that. We are moving the next steps process online, and then we are going to do the Adopt a Student launch. So those are some big things that are going to be changing as we head into the next few months here. But just wanted to get that update to you guys, man. I'm so excited about what God is doing at Element Church. And I have more anticipation right now sitting in this seat for some of the things that God wants to do than I have in a long time. I'm just excited, you guys. And I think we've been in the right season with the Lord. I feel like there's been a divine pause a little bit on us from a vision strategy standpoint over the last several years. And I feel like it's been right. And I feel like God has developed and built some things in us that I don't think could have been built any other way. I remember my dad talks about cooking. It's heat plus time. And if you just crank the heat up and you cut the time down, it doesn't give you the same result. I think we've been baking a little bit at Element. And I'm so excited for us to be able to take a fresh step into some vision and strategy as we move into this fall. So love you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed the cup of coffee together. If you have questions, let us know. Can't wait to see you guys this Sunday. Love you all so much. And again, let us know if you have any questions. We'd love to talk more. Love you guys. Thankful for your yes to Jesus, to Element Church, to each other. And we will see you guys on Sunday. Love you so much.